gals and guys and those that don't identify. Hey, it's CrissyTenBaby, your DC boo. From DC to Cali, it's Crissy, but baby. Come with me, little darlings. Let me show you the ways. The ways to what? Run this. We gonna run this. I'ma tell y'all how to get this. Story started. It's hot in here, and I'm just trying to keep my spirits high. That's all. I'm just trying to keep my little spirits high. You know, I don't drink or nothing like that. I mean, but anyway, I'm about to show y'all something, right? I was so desperate to leave DC because it was wild. I'm from DC, moved to Cali, 2019, January 22nd. This Trynna, I feel like she been feeling like I've been leaving her out. Like, she just nudged me just now and was like, don't forget about me, because I forgot about her last week. I did. But usually I like to introduce Trynna because it's me and Trynna, honestly. It should be CrissTen and Trynna at it again. Bigna. Okay, no. It should be CrissTen at it again with that chick Trynna. Yeah, I like that one. Pew, 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 pew. So I like to be corny. Like, okay, yeah. Either you're here for it or you're not. I'm here for it. Are you? Are you? Are you? Well, just sit down then. And let's talk about this drive from DC to Cali. Because I was desperate. I literally was feeling myself dying. In DC, I was fucking dying. My energy source was draining from my fucking body. R.I.P. That's how it was. It was a wild feeling, is what I'm saying. Like, the feeling was not liked at all. And I was desperate. I did not have a plan. Did not have a plan at all. All I knew is I was dying in DC. I wasn't making it work smartly enough. I didn't feel like I had the support that I needed there to make things work smartly enough. The partner that I had, you know, he did not understand being an entrepreneur. He wasn't interested in it. The friend that I thought I had, which moved out to California some years before I moved out here, he understood being an entrepreneur, but he also just lived with a lot of his own demons inside of him that he hadn't faced as well. And, you know, when you're young, you don't realize how many demons, you know, you're fighting with. So you don't realize that the people that you're also growing up with, who are also young and y'all are homies or whatever, you don't realize they have their set of demons that they're fighting with. You have your set, that person has theirs, so on and so forth. So he was, I guess, about independence and his progression in life, career-wise, and just figuring things out for your life in the long run. You know, what can you do? What do you want to do? Who are you? You know, for real, not who you were told you are. But I thought that he had those things in mind, but even still, he didn't have the same things in mind that I had in mind. So there was no one in DC that really understood the path that I felt that I needed to walk on. and I felt alone in that way. And I had been, I can be a very giving person. I'm a strong-willed person. It's very hard to beat me, or take anything from me, because I don't just allow those types of things to happen to me, because I don't like to play the victim. I demand things, and I give the things that I want in turn, like respect. I give respect because I demand it in return, and I have big dreams. I have big ideas, so many ideas, so many things that I know I can do in the pit of my stomach. Just like once upon a time, I knew I could write. I knew I could get that apartment. I knew I could get that car. I knew I would get that job. I knew I would get that guy. Like, I just knew these things. I knew I would have fucking 3 kids. And I knew each time I was pregnant what sex I was pregnant with without ever getting an ultrasound. Like, I know things deeply within myself, and I trust them, because for a long time I would know things not about anyone other than myself. I would only know things about myself, but I never trusted knowing those things about myself, because no one ever told me that they knew things about themselves that only a voice inside of them would tell them. And nobody explained that was a thing. Actually, growing up, I always heard that, if you talk to yourself, you're crazy, right? So that means if the voice in your head is talking to you and you're answering it, or you're like acknowledging it, you're crazy. Whole time, that's the goddamn voice. Actually, it's a few of them, and all of them ain't good. But the particular voice that whispers to you things that progress you, it's not a loud talk. It's usually, it's usually a quiet voice. The loud voice in my head is usually the BS voice, the one that keep telling me to fucking play the lottery. God damn, you know how many times I done played this mother effing lottery, and I ain't won this shit yet because of that fucking voice in my head. Tell me some, Chrissy, today could be the day. Bitch, you ain't gonna win if you don't play. It's only $2, but if you play today, your number might hit. But if you just put these right numbers, if you don't shut the F up, it's because of you. See, if you was born in the 80s, you knew everything I just said right there. 70s, 80s, 60s, I don't even know, probably 60s, 70s, 80s, if you know. Y'all know what that mean. Y'all know what that mean. Like, see me. Keep on telling me this BS. But that voice, that other voice that be chiming in every so often, it's always clear. You heard it loud and clearly. You just didn't hear it all the time. You heard it that time you really needed to hear it. You heard it that other time you really needed to hear it. You heard it every time you really needed to hear it. Not when you was just wanting to hear it or hoping to hear it. But every single time I needed to hear it, I fucking heard it. That voice telling me what to do. And I started believing that voice eventually, because my voice was leading me. I told y'all I was in jail. Listen, anything was better than going the fuck back there. Like, anything. I'm gonna tell y'all that story later. Them broads. Damn, they don't have no bottom. Jesus Christ. Lord have mercy. People that just openly choose to abuse, hurt, criminal activities just because it can be done, or because they think that is the only option, without even trying other options. And when I say trying, I don't mean bullshit, I tried. No, I mean fucking trying every single day, waking up early, going to that place, smiling when you fucking hate smiling, when you hate those people, biting your tongue, being humble as possible, knowing that there is a game that you have to play in order to get where you want to be. And a lot of the times in that game, you got to shut the F up, just like being in jail. When I first got there, I had to shut the F up and humble myself. because them bees be crazy. And I'm all about not just surviving, but thriving. And that's exactly why I had to leave DC, because I was dying. And I'm all about not just surviving, but fucking thriving. I want to thrive. Like, I want to soar past the stars, past the moon. I just want to, like, that's all I heard about all my life. Moon, stars, sun. What the fuck is past that? Because I know it's big AF out there. And I want to see all that ish. I want to see, like, I don't want the sky to be the limit, because it's something outside the sky, right? Because we're in like a solar system, right? So the sky, how can that be the limit? It's so much more than that. Like an infinity more. Why not? I'm not dying in DC. And the friend, you know, who moved to California, he was a big help. He was a big catalyst. He was a big part of how I ended up driving from DC to Cali in 3 days. He bought me the car that I drove. It was a nice little Chevy Malibu, little 2-door car. Very, very sweet, very nice, just what I needed. I had a cleaning company before I left DC. I, you know, made some cleaning products. I still make them now. I sell these products. I use these products. I am making a pitch deck right now to get investors interested in this product. But yeah, this friend, he was a great friend. We were great friends. We had a great time together. You know, we aren't friends anymore, but everything has its reason and its season. And we had our time and it was great. But he bought me the car that I used to drive over here. Chevy Malibu, yeah, 2-door. And he bought this car for me because he saw that I needed it. He saw the work that I had put in to make this product. He saw my diligence. He saw the need for me, because I didn't even make this product in order to create a business. I made this product because I am highly clean. I was raised like just waking up every Saturday, cleaning walls and cleaning up stuff. And then also just a natural part of me is just a person that needs things to be in order and to be beautiful at all times. I'm just that type of personality. So I made this product, this natural product, because I was killing myself literally using bleach all the time to clean. I was literally killing myself in so many ways in DC. It was insane. So I spent a couple of years coming up with the perfect solutions. One is an all-purpose cleaner and the other is a degreaser. So I came up with these two things, and I started a cleaning company. And my friend, he was so supportive. And at the time, I had lost my car for whatever reasons. It was a whole story behind that. So I asked him if he could buy me, if he could loan me money, or not even loan me, because I don't like the word loan. And if you're going to give me money, give it to me, because if I'm going to give you money, I'm going to give it to you. I don't loan people shit, and I don't like being loaned shit. The only people I get loans from is the bank, and maybe my sister. She can give me a loan, because I always pay that be back, because I don't like owing nobody the money. So anyway, I digress. I asked him, could he give me money, buy me a car? But instead, he surprised me, so I didn't even have to like go out myself and seek it out. Which, thank God, because who wants to do that, right? That's why we order from Amazon. We don't want to have to go out and seek nothing. Just let me order it real quick and deliver it. Just drop it at the door, put the keys in the mailbox. So that's pretty much what he did. He went and bought me a car. So I got this car, like, my cleaning company is going great. Then I started another business in the house that I'm renting, and I'm renting the house out and for 420 events, and some things transpire, and the house that I was renting ended up being, I get evicted from this house, right? Period. That's what happened. I got evicted. Had nowhere to go. Had nowhere for my kids to go. My oldest son was in college. Thank God for that. My daughter had been taken. I told you about that. And it was me and my son. So he had to go over his father's house, and I pretty much had to go with him, even though we were separated. We weren't even together. But I had to depend on him, and I had to sleep on his couch. And, you know, it was what it was. So the friend had bought me this car through the time that I was cleaning. I was no longer cleaning because I just needed a plan more than cleaning. I stopped cleaning people's houses. Everything fell to the wayside. So January 22nd comes. The house that I'm staying at, which was my son's father's house, it ends up being sold. So now everybody has to move out of this house, and it's just like I kept trying to hold on so desperately to not have to leave DC because of my kids. You know, I pretty much spent my whole life trying to raise them to the best of my ability. That just became my number one mission in life once I gave birth. Probably because my mother died when I was 14. More so because she's never felt like she was the mother that I wanted her to be all my life. And I wanted to change that for my kids. So I committed my life basically to being their mom. And I mean, to the point of, you know, not really having a real career, because if they get sick, what's going to happen? You know, staying in a relationship with a man that was not good for me in so many ways just wasn't good for me or for my kids. But, you know, did that because I thought that that's what being a parent was all about, you know, having two parents in the home to see what it is to be a man and a woman. So all of that transpired. Y'all, we're gonna figure it out together. We are. I want y'all to like, subscribe, share, hit the notification button, because I need y'all. You have to understand that I need y'all to go through this with me, because I've been going through this for so long by myself, and I've just been trying my best. Well, you know, I have a family now. I have a husband, and my children are growing up, and, you know, they're starting to understand things the way I understand things, and they, you know, but I want a village. I want a village of us that's just on the same page, on the same key, on the same note. Even if we can't sing, even if we can't dance, bitch, we somehow always know how to be on that same note. You hear me? So everything is falling apart. The house has been sold. I literally have nowhere to go now. Can't keep going from house to house because I'm a grown-ass woman with 3 kids. That's just not happening. That just can't happen, right? Can't depend on no man to save me, because that didn't happen. If it would have happened, that would have been happened. So all I can do is just have faith that I know how to make something great happen. So that's what I did. I just had faith in everything. I had faith in everything and in nothing simultaneously. And I got in my car first. I took it to the tire shop across the street from down the street from where I lived. Because my sister was worried. So she was like, well, at least just make sure you got some good tires. Because I didn't have no license. Everything on the car was bad. The front light it was only one. It was one headlight. So my sister was worried. So she was like, at least go and check the tires, girl. Make sure the tires good. That's a long fucking ride. That's damn near 3,000 miles. So I'm like, okay, cool. You're right. So I went and got my tire exchanged because one of them was actually bad. So I did that real quick. Went back to see my sister because she was at my aunt's house, which was only maybe 10 blocks from the tire shop. So I went to see her and tell her that I was leaving real quick, and that just so happened to be her birthday. My sister is my big sister. She is definitely my hero. I take everything after her, especially my strength and my ability to fight. She was an integral part of that, you know. While having a big sister that you can watch whip ass was important in my day. It was very, very important, and that B whips A with the best of them. Never seen her A get whooped, but seen her whoop a lot of A's. I seen B's not even want to fight her because they were scared to get that A whipped. I seen her whoop a B A while she was drunk and the other B was completely sober. But yeah, that's my big sister. I love her to death. Love her dearly. So I made sure I went and said bye to her because it was her birthday. And I took off. My car was packed the day before. My car was packed. I would have left the day before, but again, I was terrified. I was scared. Getting in my car, driving without my kids, the only people that I lived for so long, without them, with no real plan, just that I know I cannot let this city take me down. I can't let anything take me down except death itself. Because I mean, shit, that's inevitable. But other than that, ain't nothing taking me down. Ain't no circumstance or no situation or any person or anything but death itself. And death only comes when it's supposed to. So I hop in the car. And I fucking drive. The gas tank is full. The car is full. And I fucking drive. For 12 hours. I left at about noon. So I drove for 12 hours. And I ended up pulling into some hotel. I don't even remember where the first time. But I think I passed St. Louis on the first day. The art. I went down kind of like the bottom because I ended up going through like Texas. But I went through St. Louis too, which is, I guess, at the bottom. And I went through Texas. I went through New Mexico. So I went the bottom route from DC to Cali. I could see the like map of the whole country on my phone as I was like traveling across it. It was the coolest shit ever. So I'm by myself. I'm in the car. Like, I'm treating that shit like a job. I only get out the car when I have to fill up the gas tank. I use the bathroom. I make sure I have my food, whatever snacks I'm gonna have, because I only stop to get gas. That's it. And I don't play. When my mind is focused, the playing is over. So I got gas maybe once, and then I stopped at a hotel. The next morning, I made sure I stop at a hotel that's not too expensive, but a hotel that has continental breakfast, because I wake up the next morning, right? 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. I'm out by 6. I've eaten breakfast, taken a shower, and not only did I eat breakfast, I took some of the food from the continental breakfast with me. So now I got food all day. I ain't really got to worry about stopping to get nothing to eat until I stop at night to get a hotel, right? So that's the plan. Continental breakfast. Eat some, take stuff with you, have it in the car, eating it. You know, I had my little weed with me. I was smoking. I was driving. I was just loving life. I was loving the decision. I just felt God with me the whole entire time. I felt safe. I felt protected. Until the last day of driving. The last 2 days, I drove 15 hours straight. The last day of driving, I get pulled over in Texas. And like I said, I make natural products. So I got a lot of natural shit, you know, and some of this shit looked like cocaine, right? This particular powder is a drying powder that I use. And obviously the police thought that it looked suspicious. And they pulled my ass over because I was driving too fast, they say. But then the car smelled like weed. So they took my little weed from me because, you know, I had to give them something. I couldn't say, you know, I was smoking, but the shit gone. You gotta give a little bit to take a little bit. That's the thing in life. You can't just take. You gotta give, take. It's a balance. It's all about balance. That's what life is all about, baby. It's like, yep. It's a whole beat. It's a whole rhythm to life. Give and take. So I had to give up something. I was pissed. But it was my last day of driving, so I had to give them my weed. But these mother effers, they wasn't happy with that alone. They needed me to get out the car now. Now they need to search my goddamn car. And they think they done found a mother load. Oh, this bitch got drugs. I knew something wasn't right. She looked too goddamn nice. What's she doing out here alone by herself driving from DC to Cali? What the fuck? They was throwing my clothes on the ground out there on the highway. I was like, God damn, they had me stand off the road. So I'm just standing off the road, just looking at this shit go down, just as cool as a cucumber. Because like I said, I felt God with me that whole journey. I actually was giggling when they found all of my natural products. You know, they call me over to the car and say, what is this? And I tell them what it is. And, you know, I'm sure they tested it somehow and realized, yeah, it was exactly what I said it was. Fucking natural products. A drying powder. So they asked me, you know, why am I going to California from DC? You know, your tag's bad. You ain't got no insurance. The car ain't registered. What the fuck is going on? So, you know, I had to give a little, take a little, right? Again, I gave them some truth, sprinkled with some bullshit, but it all worked out because the bullshit is the bullshit that was happening within the country at that time. I think the economy was collapsing or some bullshit. I don't know what the fuck was going on in 2019, but it wasn't no jobs in DC for some reason. All the goddamn government jobs had shut down in DC and everybody was out of a goddamn job. So that was basically my story. That I was out of a goddamn job and I only had one fucking place to live, and it was a good friend of mine who already lived in California, and he told me that, you know, if I came over, he would let me live with him while I got my shit together. So that's where I'm going. I know I ain't right, but damn it, it was the only option I had. Like I said, God was with me, so they let me go. Didn't give me a warning, a ticket, or nothing. They just took my marijuana, those mother effers. And I know they smoked it because it was good too. It was some good stuff. It really was. So anyway, by this time, I just need to get the F out of Texas because, yeah, Texas. And it was already late, but I was like, fuck that. I'm not staying in Texas. So I kept driving until I got to New Mexico. And that's where I found a hotel. Again, got another, well, first I got something to eat from the place across the street because I was hungry. Took my food to the room. Got a hotel with continental breakfast again. Ate, went to bed. What's crazy, yo? So the first night I said I drove 12. The first day I drove 12 hours. The second day I drove 15 hours. By the end of that second day, when I went into the hotel room, yo, it was the wildest feeling. I was literally feeling like I was still moving at a pace of a car. I was walking, but my body, like, it was like an outside transference feeling of me still feeling like I'm in a car moving while I'm walking, while I'm doing this. It didn't stop. The moving feeling did not stop until I laid down. It was the wildest fucking thing. It was so wild. As soon as I laid down, it stopped, and I immediately went to sleep. But man, that feeling is crazy. It's insane. But again, the next morning, got up at 5:30, one of those, and, you know, took a shower, went down, got some breakfast, was out by 6. It was still dark this time when I left out, and it was raining. One of the lights wasn't working on the car. I think the windshield wipers was, one of the windshield wipers was, not that it was broken, it's just, you know how that windshield wiper just don't necessarily swipe that middle section. It might swipe like the top and the bottom a little bit, but that middle section still be real watery and foggy because the windshield wiper just don't actually lay flat enough on the windshield to just like squeegee it. Yeah, so it was kind of like that, and unfortunately the wiper on the driver's side was the bad one. So it was still dark when I left that morning. It was raining. I had one good wiper. It wasn't on my side, and I had one good light. Y'all, I was praying so mother effing hard in that car. I was riding beside all the big wheelers, the 18 wheels, I guess, they come out in a ridiculous early morning and drive, right? It was nothing but fucking big ass 18 wheelers out there driving with my bad ass fucking windshield wipers, my one ass light, in this little ass 2-door car. I was praying so effing hard, y'all. I was just praying. That's all. I was just praying. I was praying and shaking and driving. Just praying and shaking and driving. Praying and shaking and driving. Just praying and shaking and driving. Praying and shaking and driving. Just praying and shaking and driving. Yup. Praying and shaking and driving. Just praying and shaking and driving. Shit. terrified. Oh my gosh. Oh, but I made it. It lasted. It seemed like it lasted for a long time, but in all of reality, it may have lasted 5 good minutes. It may have been 5 good minutes, because shortly after, the sun had rose and it stopped raining and everything was all good. But man, that was a scary ass 5. I mean, I had just woke up. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't discombobulated enough. Yeah, bitch had slept all night. I had some food that night. I had a little food that morning before I left. I was good. But I mean, I was so far from home in that little ass 2-door car when wasn't nothing really right. But I made it, y'all. I made it. I made it out of that storm. And it's almost like an epiphany. Like, baby, you gonna make it out of all the storms. Because you being brave. You taking chances. You take the risk. You do the work. You know your worth. It's gonna work out every time. It's gonna work out. That's why we're gonna figure it out together, because we taking these chances together. I need y'all. I need y'all on this journey with me. I need y'all with me on this journey. Taking these chances, seeing these risks together, taking it on, head on, fuck it, head on. I'm your girl. I'm about that action. I'm not about them words. We doing this, and we gonna meet it head on, because we are getting through it. We gonna get through this together. That last day after that rain dissipated, it cleared up. It got warm, because you know, DC January. Oh, it's freezing, honey. It could be blizzarding. Who knows what it might be in DC in the wintertime. But it was cold, honey. I was wrapped. A bitch was wrapped. But soon as I got out of New Mexico and hit California, first of all, I didn't know the fuck whole California was the desert, bitch. Goddamn California is the desert. I thought Mexico was the goddamn desert. No, California is the desert. Utah and shit. That's desert. They not playing about that part. Honey, I started to panic, because I was like, I don't remember last time I got gas, but it was a while ago, and my gasometer, it is dropping rapidly low. And where the fuck a gas station? Because I ain't seen one in this desert. I haven't seen a gas station in a minute in this desert. I just pray to God it's a gas station in this desert. I was praying again. I was praying, because it had been a couple of hours before I had seen a gas station in that desert. So I was praying. I'm not gonna lie, I was praying. And Lord, I came up upon a gas station. Y'all, being brave is exhausting, bitch. Being brave is like telling this story right now. I'm sweating. I'm exhausted. My feet is moist. My mouth dry. I felt anxiety a few times just telling this story. So just imagine what I felt going through. But I found that gas station. That gas station popped its ass up right when I needed it. And I filled that B up. I filled her ass all the way up. I peed. I did what I needed to do. And we got back in that car. And by the third day, we ended up at our destination about 7 in the evening. With no coat on. The coat was gone, honey, because it was very warm. Once I hit Cali, it was like, oh my God. Looky here, looky here. It was like going from DC to Florida. Like, yes, son, kiss this, kiss, yes, kiss. In January, you giving me this? You giving me tank top weather in January? Okay. I mean, like, whatever. Like, if that's what you want to do, I mean, I'm here for it. Like, I'm not hating it. Because that's what it was giving, and I was loving it. And I made it, y'all. I made it in 3 days, 7 p.m. And what the fuck I do as soon as I got to LA, downtown LA, bitch, you know I did. Went to the Big Buddha and re-up. because that was a journey. And I needed a celebratory, like, inhale, exhale. I needed a celebratory inhale, exhale with my flow, because I made it. I had that faith in me, in God, in the universe, in this earth. This earth take care of us. It does if we allow it. The earth will take care of us. The animals will, even if they feel we're worthy enough, because we can be so nasty and mean as humans. But if we just can allow ourselves to stop worrying and stop being afraid and overcome those fears and have that faith. Baby, I drove from DC to Cali in 3 days. Like, it was my job. And it was all for a better reason. Like, ever since I got here, the energy that I felt when I got here, it was like triple fold. Like, I felt like I was dying in DC, but the journey across the country started to empower me. It started to empower me. And then I got to California, and I got to this gas station, and I get out of the car, and it's so warm, and I take off my jacket, and I throw my jacket in the car, and I'm just like, my energy level is just like radiating. It's fucking radiating. I feel it radiating as if there is a new life that I found somewhere deeper inside of me, past the death that I felt, this new life. And it radiated so strongly, so strongly. It made me know that I made the right decision, believing in myself and honoring myself first and foremost. Because as much as it hurt me to leave my children, I can't fill up their cups if my cup is completely empty. It just can't happen. I can't. And I couldn't. And I had to leave. It was a must for so many reasons. It was a must. But I did it, y'all. I did it. I made it. I figured it out. And you can too. You can figure out whatever obstacle. You can figure it out. You just have to get past the fear. You have to get past people making you feel doubts. Because, you know, I could have allowed my sister to make me feel so many doubts, but I understood that she wasn't trying to make me feel doubt or making me doubt myself. She was worried that I was leaving. I was starting something new. And she understood that I live for my kids, and I had to leave them. There's so many sacrifices I had to make. And I can't imagine how worried she was. She raised me since I was 14. So I'm sure she was so worried. But I could have allowed her love for me and her trying to look out for me turn into a negative thing of me thinking she's holding me back, and then allowing her to do it and making it seem like she did something when ultimately you hold yourself back. People making you feel doubts and fears, that may not even be their intention. That's just how you took it. And you don't have to take things any kind of way. You decide how you take things that people say to you. You decide if you take them at all, or if you leave them with those people that are saying it. You leave them there, because you know that those things that they're saying aren't for you in that moment. That's just how they know to show their love in that moment. And that's okay. But you don't have to take everything people give to you or say to you or tell you. You don't have to take it. You don't have to take it, nor do you have to respond to it in any kind of way. You don't have to respond to it in a mental way or a physical way. You can just observe it and let it just be you observing a thing that was said to you, and continue on about what you are doing, because your greatness counts on no one but yourself. It counts on absolutely no one but you. Only you can make yourself great. Only you can be as great as you know you can be. Only you. In each scenario, it's always going to always boil down to you. And I had faith in myself that day. And I fucking took a hell of a chance. I took a hell of a risk. And I am still right now in the middle of taking that chance. fucking 4.5 years later. 4.5 years later. I did so much great, amazing healing. I didn't even have time to really figure out or carve any work when I got here. I was just healing. Now the work has begun. And I'm so grateful. Because even though me and my family are in a one fucking bedroom apartment with the air conditioner on the dresser, we don't have central air. We have one air conditioner, and it's tiny and it's so small, and it can't cool the whole apartment. No, but it can cool the bedroom, the place that most of us sleep. My daughter, she's some type of alien who feels no heat, so she literally still sleeps in a blanket in the living room no matter how warm it is. But my son and me and my husband, we need some air, so we got the air conditioner in the room. And yes, it may be only one goddamn room in this house that's cool, but bitch, it's at least one room in this house that's cool. Ha! 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 You hear me? You better preach your word, big bird. It's one good cool house in this bitch, in this bedroom where we sleep at. It's one good cool. I don't even know what I just said to repeat it. I always trying to turn something into. I told y'all I used to want to be a singer. Fuck it. I want to be a singer, bitch. I ain't ashamed to admit it. I refuse to be ashamed anymore. I wish I could sing. It is what it is. Y'all just bear with me. That's all I ask. Just bear with CrissTen. I'm at it again. Cause I love y'all. I need y'all. And I want us to just be there for each other. And I want y'all to take chances and risks with me. I do. I want us to do it together. I want us to figure this out together, because we only got ourselves. And then we only got each other. Yes. CrissTen, I'm at it again. See y'all next week, my lovelies.